Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome to D&D News. I am Greg Tito, and I am here to talk to you about what's happening in the world of Dungeons & Dragons. I hope you're having a happy Halloween so far. I didn't really get time to dress up, but I am here as a beholder with my new Beholder t-shirt. If you want to check that out, hey, look, we just got this made. Emmy Tanji, our awesome graphic designer, made this in addition to our Extra Life shirts, so go ahead and check those out. If you're interested, I'll get to talking about Extra Life in just a little bit. But yeah, this shirt is kind of one of my faves. It's orange, totally different, not really in our oeuvre for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition so far, outside the norm, but I like orange shirts, and I thought other people might, and I think this is just a cool design, because of course Emmy Taji is an amazing designer, and I was like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if there was the words beauty in the eye of the beholder? Get it? It'll be so funny, because I like puns, and if you don't, then you're silly. Hi. How are you guys doing out in Twitch land? Inez666, good to see you. And I'm dressed up on the inside. That's right. I am a peanut butter. That's actually what I'm going to be tonight when I'm trick-or-treating with my kids. I am the peanut butter side of the bread, and my wife is the jelly side of the bread, because she said the jelly seems more feminine, which I think she's getting completely from that song, I don't think you're ready for this jelly. I think that's really the entire basis of that statement. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think peanut butter, I guess that's good. It's good stuff. I like being peanut butter. It's delish. I'm glad that Mads Mataz, you love the pun. I know you do. It's a British thing, I think. I've always was partial to the Brits and their humor, and so, right in. But then I know there's a lot of folks who don't like puns, but we're jelly. That's right. How are you doing? You guys having a good one so far on this Halloween? I hope so. I should have probably got this set up ahead of time with some of the news, but I did not because I'm a silly. It'll come in a second. Puns are death. Oh, Danny, come on! It's good stuff. It's not death. It is life. Life, I tell you. So yeah, I teased Extra Life already, but it is a thing. It is happening this weekend, November 3rd. We are going to be raising money. We've raised tons of money already for Seattle Children's Hospital, and we're going to be doing lots of Dungeons & Dragons gaming on November 3rd and November 4th, starting in Gamehole Con in Wisconsin. Some of the D&D team are headed out there now. In fact, Chris Perkins is getting on a jet plane today. That's one of the reasons why we're not having a new Dice Camera Action episode today. Sorry if you came here for that, to break the news, but we do have some really cool fun stuff for you in, sideways upgrade, a side grade, is Chris Perkins doing a sock puppet recap of all of the events of the first 2 seasons of Dice Camera Action. It's pretty funny. We debuted it during the Dragon Plus segment at 2 today, and we're going to play just the sock puppet recap. It's about 30 minutes long. It's totally, it's edited, but not really. It's super fun, lo-fi, and you could tell Chris had a great job, had a great time putting it all together. So he did this all on his own, got the puppets from Holly Conrad, got behind the couch over there, and did a full-on sock puppet theater recap of everything that's happened in Dice Camera Action. So you'll get that at 4 p.m. today instead of a new episode. Also, on a Dice Camera Action tip before I go back to Extra Life, there is now a podcast you can listen to that has new episodes of Dice Camera Action added to it. We have episodes 61 through 64, so the first 4 episodes for the new season up on our Dungeon Delve feed. That's the RSS feed, is called Dungeon Delve. You can get it at most of the places that you get podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, on the iTunes podcast place, as well as most of the podcatchers out there who can collect stuff from an RSS feed. Go check it out. It's a good way to listen to the adventures of the Waffle Crew without having to watch. And we'll be updating those with new episodes as they come available. The episode 65 that was at TwitchCon, we only have 30 minutes of it right now, and we're going to put that up on YouTube very soon, if not today. Is that going up today, do you think, Pelham? Ish? Yeah. He gave me a, maybe it'll happen. But we're also toying with the idea of, since folks seem to like this sock puppet thing so far, maybe Chris can do a sock puppet recap of that episode before leaning right into the 30 minutes of footage that we do have for that episode. And then we'll put that up on the podcast. But then episode 66 will also be coming up on the podcast very soon because it is now going into YouTube very soon. All right, so if you're looking for a podcast form to get your dice camera action fix, go to Dungeon Delve and check that out. All right, back to Extra Life. There are a bunch of ways that you can contribute, including going to my page. I still don't know what character or class, race, anything about my character that I'm going to play. I was waiting for donations from you folks. So go to my Extra Life page and donate and put in the comments what you would like to put in there as far as staking the claim for what my character is going to be. I'm playing in Lauren Urban's campaign on Saturday, and we have a bunch of other stuff going on. So there's Mike Merles is done Dungeon Mastering from GameholeCon, as I mentioned, on November 3rd. There's a whole bunch of awesome folks in that, including Chris Lindsay, Rudy Rutenberg, Satine Phoenix, Jeremy Crawford, Pat Kilbane, and Dave Ewalt. Dave Ewalt wrote the of Dice and Men, kind of a research book about the beginnings of the tabletop industry. Great guy, is a prolific writer in writing about Dungeons and Dragons. He will be joining that crew there. Also, on Saturday, we also have a pretty big group of folks, D&D celebrities and luminaries who will be playing under Dungeon Master Chris Perkins, and that is Patrick Rothfuss, Aaron M. Evans, who wrote amazing books around the Sundering and other few books, the Brimstone Angels series, Tom Lommel, who you may know as Dungeon Bastard, Gaurav Galati, John Kovalik, and Ed Greenwood, Father of the Realms, will be playing in that campaign as well. So those are the two book-ending sessions that will be happening. In the middle, we have Will Jones, an Encounter Roleplay, will be playing at Saturday at 8 a.m., at 11 a.m. These are all Pacific time, by the way. 11 to 2 p.m. That's the one that I'm playing in with Lauren Urban. And from 2 to 5, Sean Wood will be Dungeon Mastering that one with a bunch of other cool folks from the Wizards office. And then finally, again, that Chris Perkins will be doing 5 p.m. Pacific time onwards. We might be adding a few more to that schedule. Not sure about that, but that's the schedule as it currently is. And there's tons of ways to donate to the D&D crew. All that stuff goes to benefit Seattle Children's Hospital, and as well as children's hospitals across the U.S. and the international waters as well. If you're not into, just donating for the fun of it and or crafting the game, we're going to need lots of help during the actual encounters themselves. You can donate to give us healing potions, or if you're being a jerk, you can donate to put like beholders into the encounter or something like that for the Dungeon Masters. In addition to all that fun stuff during the actual play, you can purchase a couple of things on the Dungeon Masters Guild, as well as cool t-shirts created by Emi Tanji. Let's quickly talk about the Turtle package that's up on the DMs Guild. It's on D&D Beyond and in Fantasy Grounds. And all of those proceeds that Wizards would get from those goes to Extra Life. So it's a $10 PDF all about how to play as an anthropomorphic turtle. It's good stuff, right? Oh no way, that's cool access. I didn't realize that Erin's books are part of the reason that you got into the 5th edition. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, she is great, and we had her on the podcast a bunch of times for all of her books, and want to continue reaching out to her because it is good stuff. Oh, thanks for the hat. I really like it. My wife got it for me. Do you think it matches? Thanks, Inez. Another thing that you can buy if you've been watching One Grung Above or saw the Stream of Annihilation Grung session that Chris Lindsay ran, you can purchase that PDF. That is also on the DMs Guild. It is not Adventurers League legal, in case that was something that you're worried about. It's $5, and it's how you can play as a Grung player. It's basically the stats and the rules that Chris Lindsay used for all of his group, because they play as Grung, little frog, tree frog people, different colors, brightly colored caste system. So red Grung are the wizards or the mages, gold Grung are the bosses, the green Grung are like the grunts, the underlings. Tons of fun stuff, and you can play as those if you download the PDF from the DMs Guild while helping kids. It's a win-win situation, kids. I'm thinking it's going to be a thing. So wait, is the audio bad? Someone told me the audio was bad, but that was a while ago. Is it still bad? Okay, good. Pelham fixed it. Thanks, Pelham. You're on top of that. So yes, Tomb of Annihilation is out now. All of our stuff is kind of themed with that, but we have some other amazing stuff coming out called the Xanathar's Guide to Everything. I like to bring this out because this is the cover that you can get from your local game store only for Xanathar's Guide to Everything. It is designed by Hydro74. He is a prolific artist, does a lot of stuff with a lot of brands, and he did the Volo's Guide to Monsters alternate cover for us last year, and this one is a little bit different. It's got gold in it instead of silver. I kind of dig it, and it's got this whole beholder thing going on. So you could wear this shirt potentially if you were able to procure it and have this cover, and then I think you'd be pretty cool looking, you know, in my book. So you can only get this at your local game store. We're only printing a small number of these covers out there. So if you haven't already, pre-order it and get it into your game store if you're interested in getting this kind of cover. But for the rest of you, Xanathar's Guide to Everything has got 27, and both of the covers have the same content in the middle of it, which is always good. But it will be out wide November 21st everywhere, and you can get it there, including D&D Beyond and Fantasy Grounds. It'll be coming to Roll20 at a later time. But it's pretty amazing to see all the 27 subclasses that are available, new subclasses that are available. There's reprinting of, I think, 4 from previous sources like Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, as well as the Player's Companion to Elemental Evil, I believe. A lot of good stuff in there. Also good stuff for Dungeon Masters. We're talking about the player options, but there's a lot of fun Dungeon Master stuff in there, including new rules for downtime as well as traps, things like that. It's a all-purpose book to add to your game. It is pretty phenomenal. If you're interested in finding more about the story as well as some of the mechanics behind the new subclasses, go to D&D Beyond, their YouTube channel. Todd Kenrick has been interviewing Mike Merles and Jeremy Crawford and putting out a video every day with a new subclass being discussed. Great stuff, great way to get the intent behind the design as well as some of the mechanics themselves before the book comes out. So you can kind of figure out, hey, I want to play as an Inquisitive, or I want to play as a Horizon Walker, I want to play as a Cavalier is one of the ones on there. Good stuff. There's a couple of fun digital games out there right now that are in our family. Tales from Candlekeep, Tomb of Annihilation is awesome. It is on Steam right now. You can play single player through the adventure system game designed by WizKids. So it's a board game. You play as one or a party of D&D adventurers. You can choose from Artis Cimber, Dragonbait, Birdsong is a Tabaxi bard. Ashara is an Aarakocra mage, I believe, a wizard. So you can play as those characters, and it's a tactical kind of game where you have these different scenarios. New tiles get put down, and you explore them, and then monsters attack you kind of automatically, and then you decide how you move, which square you move to, and how you attack them to defeat the scenario. I think there's 29 scenarios in there. It's really a tactical kind of turn-based game that's in the Dungeons & Dragons world. Very fun. There's traps that you can disarm in order to get to loot, and then because it is a single-player system rather than a board game type system where you would play with friends, the single-player system is totally replayable. There's different difficulties. It gets quite difficult pretty early on, and you get more loot from those treasure chests. I wouldn't suggest getting those treasure chests early unless you know you can get them safely, because it is difficult and it will penalize you for that, because time is of the essence in this game. I would say that once you start getting more and more better loot, you get more adept at doing the tactical decisions, then you can try to do it at the other difficulty levels. Tons of fun, lots of replayability. I suggest you check it out. It's at a smaller, shorter price point than a lot of other AAA games out there. I think it's only $15 on Steam. I suggest you look into it if you're into that kind of tactical play. It's fun. And then you also get some story about Tomb of Annihilation as well. If you're into the board game of it, it is also now out in store. It's from WizKids. It is miniatures. There's 2 different versions. You get the premium version that has painted miniatures, or you can get the classic version that has unpainted miniatures in a single color of plastic. So different price points for those. You definitely get all the miniatures that you would need to play the game, including the characters that I mentioned that are the ones that you play as, so Artis Cimber and Nashara and so forth. And you can play with your friends. It's a great way to kind of do like an easy DM-less D&D session if your friends are more into board games and stuff like that. Speaking of board games, Betrayal at Baldur's Gate is out also in stores. It is another way to kind of have fun in a board game setting in the Dungeons & Dragons universe. This time, instead of exploring the House on the Hill, like Betrayal at House on the Hill is a more horror-themed kind of game. Betrayal at Baldur's Gate has you explore the city of Baldur's Gate, but it is also, I have to say, pretty horror-themed as well. There's cultists of Baal, or Baal, as the case may be, and a lot of freaky stuff happens in there, and something happens in the middle of the game, and one of the players that you're playing with goes bad, becomes the traitor. It is called the Haunt, and when that gets triggered, everything changes. There's 50 different haunts, so again, it has a lot of replayability about it as well. You're never going to play another Betrayal game quite the same as you did the previous session. So if you're interested in a board game that is a nice way to get into playing Dungeons & Dragons, maybe you have some friends who are into games and not necessarily into D&D, this might be a way to transition them into playing more Dungeons & Dragons, or just play the board game, because it's super fun and rewarding just on that front, right? So Betrayal at Baldur's Gate is out in stores now, as well as Tomb of Annihilation from WizKids. Also, Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms is something very cool that we should talk about in conjunction with Force Grey Survive the Tomb. So Force Grey has been going on Monday nights at 5 p.m. here on the D&D channel. I think we played episode 15 yesterday of this new season. So we're up to that far. The story is progressing really well. Joe Manganiello, Deborah Ann Wall, Dylan Sprouse, Utkarsh Budkar, and Brian Posehn are the party, led by Dungeon Master Matt Mercer. Total star-studded cast. There's a lot of great storytelling and portrayals of actors going on there. They are coming to New York City on November 18th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. They will be playing live. You can buy tickets to go watch it in Brooklyn, in Williamsburg. If you're in the New York area, I suggest you get tickets now. We'll drop a link into the chat right now as to how you can get those tickets. Yes, and Dylan Sprouse will be there. I think tickets are only $20 right now. I think we're still doing the introductory prices, so you get in there. But you can also get the VIP tickets, which are $65, and it gets you a free copy of Xanathar's Guide to Everything. Can't go wrong there, right? I don't think it'll be the alt cover, just as an FYI. I believe it will be the regular cover, but I'll be telling you more information on that on the D&D News front very soon. Just want to give you guys a heads up. Brian Posehn, unfortunately, will not be at that event. He plays in the series. He will be there, basically in the leading up to it, but Matt Mercer, unfortunately, has to write him out because Brian, I think, is previously engaged. We got every single other cast member except Brian. We decided to go with it. So, fortunately, he won't be at the live event, but all the others will be there and in full force. Maybe even a secret guest or two. We're still working on another cast member that might be able to join. No news on that front, but you never know. We know a lot of players. Force Grey has had a lot of folks in it, including Chris Hardwick, Ashley Johnson, Shelby Farrow. These are all previous, what's her name? Emily V. Gordon, who was the co-writer on The Big Sick with her husband, Kumail Nanjiani. She joined the last live show that we did at the Egyptian Theater in LA last year. Who knows? Maybe they'll drop in again. You could never find out until I tell you next time on D&D News. But go check that out because it's pretty cool. Oh, and I'm sad you live in the Netherlands too, Inez. But the good part about that is that we will be streaming that show live here on the D&D Twitch channel, in addition to possibly some other venues as well. So you can always watch it live with us, and we'll be hanging out here. I actually won't be at the event myself, even though I used to live in New York, and the place where it's being broadcast from is essentially 10 blocks away from my old apartment in New York City. I will not be there. I'm going to be here in Seattle, having a lot of fun watching it with you guys. So don't worry, I'm in the same boat. Good question on Ashley. That would be awesome. She might be in New York. Who knows? That might be the secret. But I'd like to announce it. And the show it slipped past her blind spot. That's a good one. I like that. So we've got lots of fun stuff happening here on the Dungeons & Dragons Twitch channel. Today is Tuesday, right? So we, again, will not be having a Dice Camera Action new episode tonight. We will be instead having Chris Perkins' Puppet Show recap starting around 4 hours as soon as I'm done blabbing at you guys. Tonight, also, there is Maze Arcana Sirens of the Realm. So Dungeon Master Satine Phoenix is playing with her all-female bard group throughout the realms. And also, I just heard Eric Jordan from Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms is going to be there also. Idle Champions, if you're not sure what that is, it is a game from Codename Entertainment in which you send out your party. It's kind of like a strategy idle game. You send out your party to do adventures, they kill monsters, they collect loot, and they all go out in real time and make that happen. So if you're like busy, you can set them up, and there is a lot of strategy involved into how you kind of figure out what the best optimal party is. And speaking of the party, you can recruit champions into your party, and 5 of them are from Force Grey. That's right. So all the characters from Force Grey. So there's Hitch, there is Calliope. Yeah, I said it right for the first time. Calliope is Brian Posehn's character. She's a bard, as well as Jamila, who is Deborah Ann Wall's character. Arkin the Cruel, who you have seen in Force Grey, as well as in Critical Role. We've got some mind-bending changing of things. He's the one who might have, spoiler alert, taken the hand of Vecna at the end of that, series. They are all recruitable within Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, as well as lots of other characters that you know from Forgotten Realms lore, including Minsk and Boo from Baldur's Gate. If you didn't catch it, Jim Zub, who writes the comic books for IDW that have been set in the Forgotten Realms. He uses Minsk as one of his characters there. He played as Minsk in One Grung Above last week, so if you didn't check that out, you should. Jim Zub does a really good Minsk impression throughout the entire session. It's really fun. But he's a character that you can get in Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. You can also get Jarlaxle, who is he Drist's brother? No, I think he's Drist's cousin from another. I don't know. There's definitely some connection to Drizzt Do'Urden in the Jarlaxle time frame. I always get it mixed up, so I don't want to say it wrong. The puppet show will be happening at 4 p.m. Don't worry, the happy dose. We got it going on. I'm just wrapping up all the fun stuff that's happening here. So yes, Eric Jordan will be doing that in Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. He's the guy who creates that. He will be in Sirens of the Realm tonight. So go check that out. It's going to start at 6 p.m. tonight. Maze Arcana does a great job, and they've been playing really good music that stars Vivid Vika, Amy Vorpahl, Maud Garrett, and Kate Elliott, and they're all playing bards in a band going through Chult. I don't know how they got up there, but it makes perfect sense. Then tomorrow on Wednesday, we got 10 a.m. Pacific time. We got High Rollers, Dead Reckoning, DM Mark Holmes, and the crew from Yogscast. So Katie Morrison, Chris Trott, Kim Richards, and Tom Hazel. They're evil PCs, perfect timing for Halloween, all the stuff that's going on there. I suggest you check out that. 2 p.m. is off this week, no One Grung Above, but we'll probably be doing a vodcast of Jim Zub's episode from last week in that slot. So hey, I just was talking about it. You'll be able to watch it again tomorrow at 2 p.m. And then at 6 p.m., we got Maze Arcana Fury's Fate with Dungeon Master Rudy Rutenberg, Brooke Lawson, Signutron, and Kyle Vogt. Then on Thursday, Codename Entertainment will be streaming some Idle Champions, I believe, starting at 1 p.m. That's a great way to get in what's happening in the Idle Champions world. There is a Liar's Night event going on right now in that, where you can get a custom hero. It's the only time you can get that hero in Idle Champions right now. It's in early access on Steam. I suggest you grab that if you're interested in finding out what's happening in Liar's Night right now and getting that hero. At 3 p.m. on Thursday, we got Destiny and Doom with Jack and Mika from Rooster Teeth and Friends. That is Dungeon Master Lauren Urban, Oboe Crazy, who is often in the chat here. She runs that game along with Mika Burton, Dante Bosco, Kryken, and Jack Patillo. Mika Burton is LeVar Burton's daughter and a great role player. Dante Bosco, you might recognize him if you saw the movie Hook way back in the day. He is a fantastic role player. I love how story and role-based that session is. So if you're interested, go check that out. 3 p.m. on Thursdays. We'll be hosting the C-Team as well as Critical Role, whatever they're doing, on the Geek and Sundry channel at 7 p.m. Then on Friday, Roll20 presents Tomb of Annihilation. That is the awesome Adam Kobold dungeon mastering for Distracted Elf, Andrew Gillis, Dave the Human, and Blue Jay. They've been going through Tomb of Annihilation and using the Roll20 version of that adventure. It's really awesome. It showcases how you can play online games and use Roll20 as a player aid, not in addition to one that you can use online. It's super fun. Then at 5 p.m. is when we start the Extra Life this week. So that's when Mike Merles will be taking the Dungeon Master helm, I guess. And in his game is Chris Lindsay, Rudy Rutenberg, Satine Phoenix, Jeremy Crawford, Pat Kilbane, and Dave Ewalt. Jeremy Crawford broke his toe, so actually I'm not sure if he will be traveling to Gamehole Con or not. He's been sharing some pictures of his broken toe to us here on the D&D team. It doesn't look very good, but I don't know if he's traveling, so I don't want to definitely say he'll be there. But the rest of those folks will be, and then on Saturday at 8 a.m. is when we'll be starting the entire Extra Life programming. I will be here hosting, kind of being the glue between things, making sure you guys know where to donate stuff to Extra Life and getting that all ready to go. So, hey, I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys on Saturday. Also, Sunday has got some amazing things going on too. Maze Arcana Orphan Echo, that's where they started streaming. It's in Eberron, sanctioned by good old Keith Baker. They are continuing to adventure in that. I believe they'll be broadcasting from Gamehole Con 2, although I'm not certain. You'll have to check their schedules. And then Girls Guts Glory. We spoke to Erica Fermina on Dragon Talk last night. She plays Lala in Girls Guts Glory. She's awesome, and she told us all about the new Dungeon Master, who's Kelly D'Angelo, as well as Kellen Coleman, an actress in the world of Los Angeles and Hollywood. I've seen her pop up all over, from Newsroom to the new show that she's in with my old college friend, Bobby Moynihan, Me, Myself, and I. So she's awesome, and I can't believe that she's playing in a weekly show, Dungeons & Dragons. It's pretty cool. And then, of course, Kim Hidalgo, Alice Gretchen, Rachel Steele, Ali Gonina, and Sujata Day are all going to be on there from the 3 to 5:30 p.m. on Sunday. So check all that out. And then on Monday, we'll be back with some more. I might actually take Dragon Talk off this next Monday. We've got lots of content in the can, and time is at a premium right now, so I might take that off just as an FYI. But we'll probably vodcast some previous Dragon Talk interviews. If you guys are not familiar with that podcast, that's where we talk to interesting people in the Dungeons & Dragons world. Last week, as I mentioned, we spoke to Erica Formino. We talked to Graham Barber from POC Gamer about what it's like to be in the military, as well as play Dungeons & Dragons as a person of color. Lots of fun, good conversation there. We'll be doing more and more conversations like that going forward. But Dragon Talk has got a lot of conversations in the can, as I said, over the last 3 months. We're doing 2 episodes a week on the RSS feed. So we're trying to catch up, get closer to when we stream and record them on Mondays to when we release them onto the RSS feed. And the window's getting shorter, but it might get even shorter still if we skip a few days. And honestly, we're all a little bit fried out from moving. I don't know if you guys know this, but the Dungeons & Dragons team moved within the office here at Wizards of the Coast. We were down on the first floor in our temporary digs. We just moved back up to the 3rd floor yesterday. So we're all kind of getting recovered from that, we all say as I take a big sigh of relief from all that. All right, so that's everything that's been going on here in the Dungeons & Dragons world. There will be more coming down the pipe very soon. I don't think I'll be here next Tuesday to do the news leading up to the new Dice Camera Action episode. So maybe Pelham will have to do that. I'm not sure. Or Bart, we'll make him happen. I don't know. We'll see. We'll light some fires under your butts, but someone will be coming at you to lead up to Dice Camera Action at 4 p.m. next week. Again, we're off this week. No new episode coming from Dice Camera Action. A lot of people are traveling, not able to make it. So instead, we will be playing very soon a recap of what's happened in Dice Camera Action so far. The first 2 seasons of Dice Camera Action. We're on episode 66. So this is recapping basically episode 1 through episode 60 in sock puppet form. Holly Conrad, the amazing Strix, sent these sock puppets to Chris kind of as a joke, as a lark, and he decided to use them to make this fun little recap. He went behind the couch right over there and did some fun voices. It's totally rough, you know, edited. You get to see a few takes of a couple of scenes and lines. It's really funny, really cute, and if you haven't seen every single episode of Dice Camera Action, it's a nice way to get, at least so you know what's going on in the story. So we'll be playing that in a couple of minutes. Glad you guys were here so much to hang out. Yes, I like Lark as well. It's a good one. Good one. This is and this is the only time you've been hyped for a puppet show, as you should be. Hopefully, some folks I know, Anna and Holly, said they would be in here around 4 to watch this too. So hopefully they'll be in very soon and you guys can hang out. I'll be in the chat as well, hanging out. But we're going to take a little bit of a break and run some ads. For those of you who subscribe to the D&D channel, you won't see those ads because you are awesome and you get high fives around as well. We put out new emotes. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but there are new emotes as of, I think, today. So you subscribers out there, get in to use them. They're tons of fun. For you non-subscribers out there, you can get access to them for only $5 a month, as well as not having to watch the ads, as well as getting a badge and saying, hey, I was here for as long as I could be. So go ahead and do that. We'll be adding more stuff to more tiers later on, and all that stuff, all the proceeds of that go back to enriching this channel and making the programming even better and tighter. So thank you so much for all your support on that front. Yeah, I think we're going to run a couple minutes of ads and then go right into the puppet show from Chris Perkins. So be back in a couple minutes and bask in the glory of Holly's puppets as controlled by Chris Perkins. Should be lots of fun. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later. sorry, I forgot to tell you, one thing that's really cool about this Twitch thing is that you can create clips. I don't know if everybody knows that. You can create a little snippet of video from the things that are happening on our channels and share those out. They're very fun. We're trying to make some on our own, but I want you guys to be empowered to make as many clips as you can, and I think this puppet show might be a perfect thing to do that with. I'm just having watched it already, I think there might be some fun clips to make. So I just want to say, make it out there. We're going to be encouraging them and sharing them out as much as we can. So if you guys make a clips, definitely make sure you let us know. Let me know on Twitter, probably is the best way. I'm at Greg Tito, or you can shout it out to any of us, the D&D account, or Chris, or anybody on the Waffle crew, and we'll try and share them out as much as possible. But definitely, I think clips are the future of ways to get the word out about Dice Camera Action. So let's help us out and make that happen, and make some awesome clips of this puppet show that's going to start right about now. Bye, guys.